Hello everyone, it's Truds here, and today we've got another Destiny 2 build for you. We've been having lots of fun on the channel, mixing and matching the old exotics with the new mods and Warmind cells. This time we're visiting our friendly neighbourhood hunter who's hanging out in the tower. Hunters are taking a beating in the Guardian games, so we're here to show them some love. And to do that, we're bringing back a faithful friend from the seasonal artifact this season, Tyrant Surge. With Tyrant Surge and this crazy build, we're going to be taking out all the frustration of being bottom on the podium by beating the pulp out of everyone in our path. Before we get into it, if you're new here, we like to make quality build videos and really take a deep dive into how we can maximise every part of it. So if you enjoy this video or find my builds helpful, please click subscribe to help me out and support the channel. I appreciate every single one of you who has done that so far. So on we go with this. Tyrant Surge is a crazy fun mod this season, as it basically allows you to create an unlimited amount of Warmind cells with arc ability final blows, whether that's grenades, melees or supers. We've mixed it into a lot of the builds as it's one of the most integral mods of the artifact this season. It costs a huge 6 neutral energy but can be placed on any armour piece in your build. But today we're going to be linking in with the sneaky side of the hunter, and so we're going to be using Assassin's Cowl. This exotic helmet was introduced with Shadowkeep and came with a fairly underwhelming response. I've not seen many people use it, but this season it actually is great for a number of reasons. First off, its intrinsic perk, Vanishing Execution, grants invisibility and restores some health and shield on arc, solar or void melee final blows. Finishers and final blows against tougher targets increase the duration of the invisibility and the amount of health and shields restored. So it's like a supercharged Blade Dancer from Destiny 1 in exotic form. You'd think this would be more popular given its versatile function, but I think a lot of people are sleeping on it, especially this season. So we want to spec in this build towards melee abilities and the cooldown of our strength stat, and there's no better melee mod this season than Thundercoil. With this artifact mod granting bonus damage to arc melee abilities and providing super energy when using a finisher, it has perfect synergy already with Assassin's Cowl. Thundercoil is useful in both PvE and the Crucible too, so you really can make the most out of this build whatever your flavour. Again, it's an expensive mod costing 6 neutral energy and can only be applied to your class item, but given its lethality, it's definitely worth it. Bungie likened these final tier mods in the artifact akin to experimental exotic perks, so that just says it all. This trio is deadly in its own right, but to really make the most out of it, we want unlimited arc melees, and for that we want the Way of the Warrior. This incredible arc subclass helped me in completing a solo run of the Shattered Throne last year, so it's not to be sniffed at. There's so many synergistically strong perks here that this is one of the only skill trees in the game across all classes that has gone basically untouched since D2 launched. Combination Blow is the main perk here, as killing an enemy with a melee will trigger health regeneration and increase subsequent melee damage, which stacks up to 3 times. This perk is awesome in its own right, but paired with the build we've put together so far, it's in a league of its own. Combat Flow will also fully recharge your dodge ability, which then means we can use Gambler's Dodge, which if done near an enemy will instantly recharge your melee ability. We then lean back into the Way of the Warrior with Deadly Reach, which will increase your melee range after dodging, so this one goes full circle in no time at all. Do you see the beauty of this build? We're essentially getting supercharged melee damage thanks to Thundercoil and Combination Blow, with each charged melee hit benefiting from Assassin Cowl's Vanishing Execution, making you go invisible along with getting health and shields plus health regen 2 from Combination Blow. As your melees are stronger with each stack of Combination Blow, you'll be able to take out tougher opponents more often, therefore extending the duration of the invisibility effect and the benefit of the health and shields. You can then set up your dodge near an enemy whilst invisible to get that full melee charge back. But we're not done there, not by a long shot. We are taking this one all the way with a couple of handy Warmind Cell mods, as each charged melee will create one thanks to Tyrant Surge. We are going to use one that we haven't even looked at this season so far, and one that is probably very underutilised but will be very valuable, especially in this close quarters style build. Chosen of the Warmind is an Arc Affinity mod costing 1 energy. When you collect or destroy a Warmind Cell, it creates a concussive blast that pushes enemies away. This effect isn't huge, but it will grant you a bit of daylight and could be the difference between being mauled to death by Thrall. You can increase its effect by using the very handy Global Reach, which, let's be honest, is hands down one of the best mods this season, which should just be intrinsic into every mod anyway. We are then going back to 2 old faithful friends with the Power of Rasputin and Warmind's Protection. These 2 Void Affinity mods will buff your damage output as well as debuffing enemies' damage too, therefore intrinsically allowing you to deal more damage with your melee. As we are going to be close quarters very often, I'd highly recommend using resilience mods to bump up your overall health, or even intellect mods to get your super up quicker to deal with tankier enemies when required. You may also want to consider using a Dynamo Void class ability mod. At 3 energy, this one will reduce your super cooldown when you dodge using your class ability, and as we will be dodging all of the time, it will bump your super up in no time at all, and will arguably be better value than using intellect mods as mentioned previously. As for weapons in this build, I just use some greens or blues from your collections, because honestly, who even needs weapons? Some of these builds make your abilities so useful and strong so often that they effectively negate the need for weapons other than strong DPS style weapons in the power weapon slot. If you use this build properly and to its maximum efficiency, it is absolutely an option to solo some of the toughest content in the game. Legend and Master Nightfall ordeals can be worked through in no time thanks to the tanky style nature of this build, and it'll make light work of combatants at all levels. PvP wise, it's just as fun but not quite as easily effective. However, if you are crazy enough to pull off a combination blow ×3 with Assassin's Cowl using this build, then you'll be the bane of the opposing team and deserving of a statue in the tower. So there we go, another fun build ticked off. It was great fun to tackle putting this one together, and it gave me flashbacks of the trials and tribulations I had whilst tackling a solo run of the Shattered Throne. As the Warmind Cell mods are sticking around, the core aspects of this build will be strong across future seasons, but we may revisit it depending on what we get with future seasonal artifact mods. As always, let me know in the comment section that you made it this far by putting in the number 7. Also, if you're new around here, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, it really helps support me and we've got lots more build videos coming up. Also, a rating down below would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.